So here's this story. A lady comes, and she comes up here to the Ghost Bar. She has a seat and orders herself a Cosmo. Now, it's the middle of the day, middle of the week, like 5:15, 5:30 during happy hour, okay? She orders a Cosmo. She then takes a couple sips of her drink. She then heads into the restroom. She's in the restroom for about a minute and a half. She then exits the restroom and stands at the end of the bar and orders a glass of water. She then re-enters the bathroom. She's in the bathroom for about 11 to 12 minutes. She then exits the restroom, sits down at her seat to enjoy her drink. The bartender is walking up and down, doing the bartender thing, comes to her and says, "Are you enjoying everything?" And she says to the bartender, "Everything is fantastic, and your bathroom attendant is lovely." So the bartender goes to her and says, "You know, miss, I apologize. We don't employ a bathroom attendant. You must have been speaking to another guest." She looks at him and says, "No, she had to have worked here. She was an elderly lady. She was in a white blouse, pencil skirt, obviously looked like she worked here, and she knew so much about the history of the home that there's no way she didn't work here," right? So then the bartender looks at her and says, "You know, I don't know what to tell you, miss, but we do not employ a bathroom attendant." She then re-enters the restroom, comes immediately back out, goes to the bartender, "Well, where did she go?" And, you know, bartenders in general got a little sarcasm side to them. That's just kind of how it goes. And the bartender goes to her, "Miss, I don't know what to tell you. Maybe you saw a ghost." Well, said atheist woman who does not believe in ghosts takes this very, very offensively and gets into an altercation, a screaming match with the bartender to the point where I am called to intervene. Here's where I enter the picture, okay? So I don't know any of this that's going on, okay? We have an intercom system in the house, okay? And I'm walking past the host stand, and hostess stops me and says, "Hey, you got an upset guest in the bar. They need you up there right away." So I'm like, all right, here we go. Who wants what for free? Let's go. So I come walking up the stairs, and it's very obvious who the situation is with, okay? And because this lady is screaming at the bartender. Now, let me describe this lady to you as somebody that is a very good snap judgment of character, okay? She's very well put together. Very obviously just coming for a cocktail for happy hour after a long day's work. She is in a lady's suit, so a blazer and slacks, expensive looking blue silk blouse. Her handbag was sitting on the bar. I'm not a pro at those things, but it didn't look cheap. Not something that, you know, I would quickly dismiss, if you will, right? And I've heard a lot of things in my time as a restaurant manager, but this is the one true thing that caught me off guard. So I come up here and I kind of intervene into the situation. I said, "Excuse me, miss, my name's Tony, I'm the manager here. What seems to be the situation?" And this is what she says to me, and I'll never forget it because it just completely catches me off guard. She looks at me and she puts her finger in my face. We all know how much you love it when somebody puts a finger in your face, right? And she says, "This isn't funny. You guys sneaking people around through hidden doors trying to scare your guests." All right. I don't really know what to say to that. So I kind of look at her and I'm like, "Well, I apologize. I am not fully up to date on what exactly this situation seems to be. Could you do me a favor and start from the beginning?" So she does. She starts from the beginning. She says, "Hey, I came in, I sat down. I got a Cosmo. I had to use the restroom. I went into the restroom. I met this woman. She started having a coughing fit. What's creepy about that is that we were a tuberculosis ward in the early 1920s, okay? And so she started having a coughing fit, so I came out, I got her a glass of water, I went and used the restroom, and then I went and sat down with her.
The water. That was why she came out and got the water.
Why she came out and got the water. We'll get back to the water. Put a mental note, the water. Put a pin in that, as people like to say, okay? So I sat down, and we had a lovely conversation about the history of the home, the history of the family, and she had to have worked here. She had to have worked here because there's no way she could have known all of that about the property. And then I sat down, and, you know, your bartender tells me that you don't employ a bathroom attendant, and now she's, like, starting to get a little worked up. You can see she's, like, her face is starting to flush a little bit, her tone is getting sped up, and he said that I saw a ghost, and I don't believe in ghosts, and now she's really starting to get animated and worked up. Look, I don't know, and this is what I said to her, because this is all I could come up with. I don't know who you talked to, who you didn't talk to, who you saw, who you didn't see, but here's the only thing that I can guarantee you as the manager of this restaurant. We, as a business, are not sneaking people around through hidden doors in an attempt to scare you. Out of anything that could or couldn't have happened here, that is the one thing that I can promise you didn't happen. And she wasn't convinced. So she brings me into the bathroom. Follow me. I'll bring you in here.
All right. Wait, this.
Okay, so this is the sitting room where
Okay.
like brides get ready. The actual bathroom is right here. So she brings me into this room, and the whole time I'm trying to convince this woman, right? I'm like, Miss, it had to have been a guest. She's trust me, she's downstairs having dinner with her family. You know, I'm just trying to convince her this, because what else am I going to convince this lady of, right? And she's just adamant about it over and over again. No, I was sitting at the end of the bar. I would have saw her. I would have said something. I'm telling you, she never left the restroom. So she's not convinced that we're still not sneaking people around trying to scare her. So she comes into this restroom. She sees this door. This door is nailed shut. Okay, this door is the emergency access to the updated plumbing in the event of a plumbing emergency. Okay, this door does not open without a crowbar. You can crank on it all you want. She does that. Okay, then she comes over here. Well, I want you to open this closet. Okay, so I come over here.
She was serious. Like
She
she
is
was
dead.
I mean,
She was dead set
yeah.
serious.
All right.
So I come over here. I open this. I let her look in.
Yeah, that
There's
doesn't
nothing
go.
in there.
No, this doesn't go anywhere. I can confirm that.
There's nothing goes there, okay? And I kid you not, comes back here and does this.
To the chimney. Like a false back or bottom
Like
of
a
the
false
chimney.
back to the fireplace, okay? And I'm telling you, this whole time I'm trying to convince this woman that no one ever, she has to be somewhere in the building, right? And so she sits down and she just starts sobbing hysterically, like mascara and like the whole thing. And this is the part where I always stutter over my words, because this is the part I get goosebumps right now telling it. This is the part that always creeps me out the most, okay? So she's sitting there sobbing on that couch, and what is sitting on the table next to her?
The lamp.
A empty water glass, okay? Had it been a full water glass, I'd have chalked her up to crazy.
And she said she didn't drink it, right?
She said she did. She brought it for her. It's because she was having a coughing fit, right? Had it been a full glass of water, I'd have chalked her up to crazy. But there sits the empty water glass. So what do I come up? I'm trying to convince this lady, right? Because I'm still convinced this lady is downstairs having dinner with her family. But what is the last thing I want? Is this lady roaming around the mansion, tears, mascara everywhere, trying to find this lady. Not a good look for the Whitney, right? So I come up with what I think is this genius idea. So follow me. So we have, you can see it up there in the corner, we have one security camera pointing across the bar. If you look over here, we have another security camera showing the whole bar. Okay?
Yep.
I assure you there are no security cameras in the bathroom. That's not only creepy, it's illegal. Of those cameras, show what? That door.
Right.
That door that I assure you is the only way in and out of that restroom.
You showed us that.
Right, okay?
Yeah.
So I was like, listen, miss, why don't you come with me? I'm going to take you to the office. We're going to show you the security footage so that you can see this woman exiting while you're texting on your phone or you're distracted doing something, because I'm telling you this woman is a guest somewhere on the property. So she's like, okay, let's go do it. So she grabs her bag. We go down into the office, and I run the tape, and I run it over and over again. And I'm telling you, all you see, she comes in, she sits down, she orders her drink, she takes 2 sips of her drink, she then goes into the restroom. She's in the restroom for about a minute and a half. She comes out, asks for a glass of water. She then returns to the restroom. She's in the restroom for about 11, 12 minutes, exits the restroom, sits down to her drink. Bartender walks up and down, has a quick interaction with her. She then returns to the restroom, comes back out. They have a very heated conversation that you can see. The bartender then walks into the bar where the intercom is, pages the host stand. About 45 seconds to a minute later, I come walking up the stairs. Me and her have a conversation. We then enter the restroom. And between the time that she leaves the restroom the second time and me and her enter it together, you do not see a single person go in and out of the restroom. She then went running out the front door, crying hysterically. To my knowledge, never stepped foot on the property again.
Wow.
Yeah. So that is the story of the bathroom attendant.